Good morning, women influencing real estate. I have been writing my notes for this talk since we talked last week and am so pumped about this. As I told you before, the series this month is from my Unleash the Power Within Tony Robbins event that I had attended, oh my gosh, 10 years ago. And it's interesting to read the things I wrote and how they relate to what I want to talk to you about today. Before I get started though, a whole bunch of you have been inviting other women in your market to join this group. And I want to thank you for that, because there are a whole lot of organizations or Facebook pages out there for women that want a lot of women to join because they want to sell them something or they want to do something, I don't know. What I love about this is we're not selling houses on this site. We're not selling mortgages on this site. We're not doing anything but interacting together to help build each other up. And that's what I love about our Women Influencing Real Estate. It's simply a place not to promote ourselves, not to promote our agenda, but to support each other, promote each other. And that's what I love about this. For those of you that have reached out to other women in your marketplaces and invited them, good for you. I don't do that on the page. I let this be organic so that if there's women that you love and you care about and they're entitled, mortgage, banking, real estate, building, developing, business owners even, there's so much in this world that is influenced by or influences real estate. Invite the women to join. I think it's a great place. So I want to say thank you for that. So this month, and I think this is the last one for this month, we talked about creating our why, what our fears are, understanding our beliefs and creating new ones. And I hope you guys worked on that last week. The thought for today is, and the next step to all of this is creating momentum. And I love this statement. Momentum is forward motion with emotion. Momentum is forward motion with emotion. You're not going to have forward motion if there's not an emotion to it. You emotionally drive your car too fast sometimes, or I do. You emotionally ride that horse too fast sometimes, or I do. But momentum is forward motion with emotion. So there's 5 steps to creating momentum. So write this down if you would, please, or play it back later and write it down if you want to. 5 steps. Number 1 is peak state. Number 2 is your passions. Number 3 is decide, commit, and resolve. Good morning, Deborah. Hello, Kelly. I see Amy's on. Good job. So 5 steps. Peak state is number 1. Number 2 is your passions. Number 3 is decide, commit, and resolve. That's a really important one we're going to talk about today. Decide, commit, resolve. Number 4 is action. And number 5 is simply smart. I hope you ladies will take this and share it on your page with other women. All of these that I've done this month. Start with the first one on why. Share them with others because this is great information. Especially young women who are trying to build a career or want to decide what to do next or are new in the industry. So the 5 steps for creating momentum again. Number 1, peak state. Number 2, your passions. Number 3, decide, commit, resolve. Number 4, action. And number 5, smart. Now I'm going to go through each one of these this morning. Number 1 was peak state. Peak state. How do I get into peak state? Well, you got to exercise. You got to have movement. When you move your body, you release friendly endorphins in your brain, and that puts you in a positive mindset. It makes us happier. It puts us in a peak state. A perfect analogy to something like this would be your cell phone. Think about this. Your cell phone. It sits there doing nothing until you pick it up and turn it on. Same thing with our body. It sits there doing nothing until we get up and move. So we have to have movement. Number 2 is find your passion. And I love this. I wrote all of my answers down and I was reading them from 10 years ago. Here's the questions you want to ask yourself if you want to find your passion. So how do we do it? Write this down. What do I love? What do I love? And I reread my whole list of all the things that I said I loved. And what's amazing with this is that when I look at what I love, I look at what I have experienced over the last 10 years and what I'm not really focusing on. So write down the question. I want you to answer it later, not right now, because you want to think about this. What do I love? Number 2, what do I hate? There weren't a lot of things that I hate, but there were some really specific things that I hate in me and that I hate in others or dislike immensely. So number 2 is what do I hate? What do I hate? Number three, what am I most passionate about? And if any of you had to guess one of the things that I am absolutely most passionate about, I think you know. If you follow me on Facebook, on my personal page at all, you probably know something I'm really passionate about. But that's an important question to ask ourselves. What am I really passionate about? And the number one thing for me was horses. Go figure. What are you passionate about? Number 4, what do I really want? What do I really want? In other words, what's something more important to me? For me, 10 years ago, I wanted to become a good speaker. I wanted to be able to take all that I'd learned and share it with others and know that I'd made a difference. I have a sign on my wall here in my kitchen that was sent to me by a client, and I said this at our very first Women Influencing Real Estate event. What do I want people to say about me? I want people to say, because of you, Debbie Holloway, I didn't give up on my dreams. Because of you, I didn't give up. Because of you, I did not give up. And the Lori Adams and Lori Little, had that made for me and sent it to me. And I keep it right here so I see it every single day. It means so much to me to be able to share with others and to change a life. Because someday, when someday happens to all of us, I don't want to be remembered for what I didn't do. I want to be remembered for who I helped, who I moved forward. Because I believe to whom much is given, much is expected. So for you, what do you really, really want? And what do you really want? What really drives you in life? What I've found that if you want to figure out your passion, go for a run, go for a bike ride, go for a long walk. Because as you're doing that and you're exercising, you're releasing those friendly endorphins and focus on what it is that you want to discover within yourself. Put your body in that peak state and then let your mind go deep into thoughts, deep into creativity. I record on my phone what I want to think about, and then I listen to it over and over while I walk, and I think and I state. And sometimes I'll just stop and say, here's an idea, here's a talk, and I'll record it and then I'll keep walking. Put yourself in a space where you can actually understand the value of finding your passion and the importance of that. The next one I said was decide, commit, and resolve. Really important, because these are your levels of commitment. At the moment when you're feeling that peak state, you're finding your passion now. That's the time to decide what you want. Oh, thank you, Kathy. You're so sweet to say that. That's the time to decide what you want. You got to do something. Because here's the thing. If you really want to make something happen, you have to make a decision. Because it is in our moment of decision, and I wrote this down, it is in our moment of decision that our destiny is created. It is in our moment of decision that destiny is created. When we don't decide, and let's face it, we all do this, and I don't know if women are worse at it or what, but I do that all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. I've been going round and round. I'm going to keep this baby horse. I've never kept one of the babies before. That's a big responsibility. It's a big outlay of cash. So maybe I'm not going to keep the baby. Maybe I'm going to keep the baby. Maybe I'm not going to keep the baby. So that's, for me, it's different for everybody. But I have to make the decision. So I decided I'm keeping that baby. I'm going to put aside the money it takes to raise that baby, to train that baby, and to enjoy what that baby horse does. I made that decision. It was a big decision because it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of big horse at a young age. So it's a lot of challenges for me. I made that decision. So you have to make a decision on what you want. That's something for me. I make a decision every week that I want to bring value to you. I want just one of you or more to have something change in your life because of something I said. It's not because of me. It's because I'm a conduit to push you to change, to push you to momentum. You've got to decide, commit, and resolve. The next one I mentioned to you in the 5 steps to momentum was taking action. I love this. This I got from Tony Robbins. Intelligently employed, massive action can be a cure-all. Intelligently employed, massive action can be a cure-all. When I decided that I really wanted to be good at speaking, I knew I had to spend the money and get the training. And so I did. I flew down to Atlanta. I went into some training with Roberta Monaco, who is amazing, and learned how to be a better speaker, because that's something that really matters to me. I'm actually a shy person. Being on stage in front of people, it doesn't bother me anymore, but that's not why I'm up there. I'm up there because if I can change one life the way my life was changed when my decision was made to join coaching, because I was in debt, single mom, terrible life. When I made that decision, it changed everything for me. When I made the decision that I wanted to speak, it was because I knew I could help someone. And at the end of our lives, I think it's who we help that's so important. So take action. Eliminate all your options. Create a plan of what you want and do something now before you have time to rethink it. Because I don't know about you, but I always rethink what I thought was my decision. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to buy something. Maybe you want to get a pet, move into the luxury market, expand your business. I can remember back when I thought it was a big deal in real estate. I don't know. And I had this young kid at the time come to me, and he said, I am a mortgage lender. I'm with this bank. And he said, I want to earn your business. What would it take to earn your business? And I said, well, I get all kinds of mortgage rate sheets in my mailbox all the time, and I throw them all away, because anybody that's willing to stick a mortgage rate sheet in my mailbox and not ask, I'm not interested in. I'm in the business of asking. I'm in sales. So are you. And the fact that you've actually stopped by and asked me, that goes a long way. But I hadn't told him I would do anything yet. And he said, listen, just give me one deal. If I screw it up and you're not happy, I will never darken your door again. Just give me one. Let me show you what I can do for you. And in my opinion, anybody that's willing to ask me that is worth listening to. So then I said, okay, so what are you going to do? He said, here's my process. And he went through everything, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you one deal, but if you mess it up, I didn't know he'd never done a mortgage deal in his life. I said, if you mess it up, we're done. Don't darken the door again, because, if you do a good job, you could get 100 loans this year. And he did a phenomenal job. And he did a ton of business, probably 60, 70 deals for me that year. So he came to me in December, not to bring me a Christmas present, because I don't want presents from people. I just want a good job. I believe the best gift we give is a job well done. And he said, I've been asked to come by my manager and ask you this question. Why did you choose me to do that one deal? I had never done any mortgage deals. I said, no, I didn't know you had not done any mortgage deals. And why do you ask? Because he said, my manager's like, what did you do? She's like the top agent in town, and you got her business? And I said, let me tell you what you did. I made the decision to take action with you because you stepped up and you asked me for the business. You didn't bring cookies and cupcakes and rate sheets and all of that. You asked. I work with an amazing bank here in Shelby County, Citizens Union Bank, Hub, and an amazing woman Belinda Nichols, who I dearly love, and she asks for the business. I believe that we should be okay asking. If somebody's willing to ask me, I know they're willing to work hard. So think about the action you need to take. Whatever that is, take that action. The last one I want you to write down is SMART. Be smart, be honest with yourself as you build your momentum. And I wrote this down. SMART stands for strategy, measure, assess, reinforce. Strategy, what does I say? Strategy, measure, assess, reinforce, take action. Let's talk about strategy. You got to get one. You got to know that whatever strategy is that you have, it can change as you go along, and that's okay. Number 2, measure. You got to track and measure everything. Those of you that are in our coaching program, if you're not putting your numbers in the bottom of the Illume section that's blue on your coaching page, you're not helping yourself. Track and measure. It tells us everything. Level 10 right now is doing a weight loss challenge for those of you who are involved in level 10, and it's phenomenal. They've got groups, they've created a strategy, they're measuring, they're assessing as they go along, because you got to ask yourself, is this strategy giving me the emotional reward that I want? Next is reinforce. What's working? What's not? I got to reinforce what's working for me, and then I've got to change my actions. I decided to and was asked to buy a real estate company years ago. Should have thought that one through. Bought it for $1, thinking, and was told you won't have to put any money in until 30 days when we had no money, and I had to start putting money in. I had to take a new action. That's the last one. I had to create a new strategy. I had to measure everything. I had to reinforce what was working, change what wasn't working, and then I had to take new actions. If what you're doing now is not giving you what you want, change it. So write this down for me, please, ladies. What are 2 new decisions that you are committed to making now? What are 2 new decisions that you're committed to making now? What are 2 new decisions that you are committed to making now? And how will they powerfully improve your life forever? How will they powerfully improve your life forever? I wrote that down 10 years ago, and I looked at what I needed to decide. I needed to remove all the options. I needed to decide what I wanted to do in my life, and that's when I made the decision that it was more important for me to give back than to take. Because, like I said before, to whom much is given, much is expected. I like for people to expect much from me. That challenges me. So write this down, share it with your coach. If you have one, share it with me. Private message me. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are 2 new decisions you're committed to making now, and how will they powerfully improve your life forever? And do me another favor. Share this with women in your life that you know need this, that you know you can give back by helping them. Like I said at the start of this, many of you have added women to this group because you want to help them. Take all 4 of these that I've done this month, why, fears, belief, and momentum. Share those one by one in order with the women you care about in your life, whether they're not there in real estate or in anything that affects real estate. Share it with them, help them. You give something back, because that's how we all win. I love what you said, Paige, learning to say no and not be afraid to refer out buyers. Yes. Bottom line, 2 decisions that you're committed to making. And thank you guys for taking the time that you do each week to spend with me. It means the world to me. And I hope that, like I said, you will take this and share this, and that you will join me next Wednesday. Make it a good one.